Hello, my name is Siren. I want to tell you about my journey of learning how to talk about my daily routine in English. In the beginning, I was shy. I didn't know how to speak about my day clearly. But now, I speak with confidence and ease when I first started learning English. I thought everything had to be perfect. I imagined myself speaking like a native, using long sentences and big words. I wanted to sound smart, fluent, impressive. But every time I opened my mouth, I froze. The words didn't come. My mind was full of grammar rules and vocabulary, but nothing felt natural. I remember sitting in front of my notebook, trying to write about my day. I stared at the blank page. I didn't know how to begin. How do I say I woke up? Is it I wake up or I woke up? What if I say it wrong? What if people laugh at me? That fear stopped me again and again. But one day, something changed. It was a Sunday morning, and I was sitting in my room with a cup of tea. I opened a video on YouTube where a teacher said something I'll never forget. You don't need big words. You just need small words used correctly. That hit me. I thought about the way I talk in my own language, how I tell my family about my day. I woke up. I made breakfast. I went to work. Simple, clear, natural. Why was I trying to make English more difficult than it needed to be? So I decided to try something new. I took a pen and wrote the title, My Daily Routine. Then I wrote, I wake up at 7. Just that one sentence, and it felt good. It felt like I was finally speaking English, not from a textbook, but from my life. So I continued. I brush my teeth. I take a shower. I eat breakfast. I go to work. 5 sentences. 5 simple actions. I smiled. That was my first real success. The next day, I woke up and repeated those same 5 sentences out loud. I didn't care if my pronunciation was perfect. I didn't worry about mistakes. I just wanted to speak. Then I added more. I arrive at the office at 9. I check my emails. I attend meetings. I eat lunch at 1. I leave the office at 5. Now I had 10 full sentences about my day. I felt like I was building something brick by brick. Word by word, I created a little routine. Each morning after waking up, I said those sentences. While brushing my teeth, I said, I brush my teeth. While drinking tea, I said, I drink tea. While leaving for work, I said, I go to work. I wasn't just learning English, I was living it. It became part of me. English started to feel like a second skin. I also started recording my voice on my phone. I would speak my routine into the microphone and then listen to it. At first I was shy. I didn't like how I sounded. My voice felt strange. My accent felt strong. But I listened anyway, and something amazing happened. Day by day, I got better. I started hearing my mistakes. I corrected them. I improved. I didn't need a teacher. I didn't need a classroom. I just needed my voice and my story. Then I decided to add times to my routine. This made it more real. I wake up at 7. I have breakfast at 7:30. I leave home at 8. I get to work at 8:45. This helped me learn how to use numbers and time. Expressions in English. I even made a daily planner on paper with English sentences for each hour. 7 o'clock. I wake up 7:30. I eat breakfast 8:00. I take the bus. 9 o'clock, I start work. 1 o'clock minus 1, eat lunch. 6 o'clock, I come home. 8 o'clock minus 1, eat dinner. 10 o'clock, I go to sleep. It was so simple. But it changed everything. Because now I had something I could practice every day. I didn't have to search for new topics. My life became my lesson. Then I made flashcards. On one side, I wrote, I take a shower. On the other side, I drew a small picture of a shower. I made cards for everything. Wake up, brush teeth, eat, walk, talk, sleep. I put the cards on my wall. Every time I passed them, I said the sentence dot. It became a game, a routine, a habit, and that habit gave me power. Soon, I was speaking these sentences without thinking. They flowed from my mouth like music. Remember walking to the market and whispering, I'm going to the market. I want to buy vegetables. I walk past the park. I see some children playing. It felt like I was writing a story in real time. And the best part, I wasn't studying. I was living. I was using English to talk about my life. I also started using the mirror technique. I stood in front of the mirror, looked into my eyes and spoke, Hello, my name is Siren. I want to tell you about my daily routine. I wake up at 7. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I get dressed. I eat breakfast. I leave for work. I imagined I was on camera, talking to the world. At first, I laughed at myself. I felt silly, but then I started enjoying it. Each sentence made me feel more confident. Each word made me feel stronger. And something beautiful began to happen. One morning, I was at work when my manager asked, What time do you usually come in? I didn't freeze. I didn't panic. I smiled and said, I usually arrive at 9 o'clock. He nodded and said, Great. That moment was small, but to me, it was huge because I had answered in English clearly and confidently. That small sentence was a result of all those simple daily practices. Then I started helping a friend. Her name is Zara. She also wanted to speak English. I told her, Don't worry about grammar. Just say what you do every day. We sat in a cafe and took turns. She said, I wake up. I said, Good. What next? She said, I make tea. I said, Excellent. Keep going. We built her routine together, step by step, sentence by sentence, and just like me, she started gaining confidence. Looking back now, I realized something important. We try too hard to speak big. The fluency doesn't begin with big words. It begins with small actions, with the little things we do every day. If you can talk about your daily routine, you can start any conversation. You can tell someone about your habits, your job, your weekend. And once you can talk about today, you can start talking about yesterday and tomorrow. That's how fluency grows. So here's my advice to you. Start with your morning. What do you do first? Write it. Say it. Repeat it. Then move to your afternoon. Then your evening. Keep it simple. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to memorize. 100 words. Begin with what you already do every single day. Because the best way to learn English is not through books. It's through your life, your story, your voice. In the next part of my journey, I'll tell you how I learned to make my routine sound more natural and real, using words like usually, sometimes, and after that. That part changed the way I speak and made me sound more fluent than ever. That it all started here with 5 small sentences, spoken in my bedroom on a quiet morning. So if you're wondering where to begin with today. After I became confident speaking simple sentences like I wake up at 7 or I go to work at 9, I felt proud of myself. Those small victories gave me hope. I had built a strong foundation, but one day, something fell off. I was watching a video where a girl described her daily routine, and she said, I usually wake up at 6:30, but on weekends I sleep in. There was something about the way she spoke. It sounded smoother, more natural. Her sentences didn't sound like a list. They flowed like a conversation. It made me realize something important. I sounded like a robot. My routine was clear, but it felt like I was reading a to-do list. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I take a shower, I eat breakfast. It was correct, but it wasn't natural. So I asked myself, how do real people talk about their routines? That question became my next mission. I turned to real conversations. I started watching more English vlogs, especially the A Day in My Lifestyle videos. I listened to native speakers talk casually about their routines. They didn't say, I wake up, I brush, I eat, I leave. Instead, they said, I usually wake up around 7. After breakfast, I check my phone. Sometimes I skip lunch if I'm busy. Then I take a short walk. I kept hearing these routine words. Usualissimata Small words made everything sound more natural, more connected. So I made a list. I called them my magic connectors. And I promised myself, Siren, from now on, you will use these words every single day. I rewrote my routine with natural flow. I took my old routine and rewrote it using the new words. Instead of I wake up at 7, I brush my teeth, I take a shower. I wrote, I usually wake up at 7, then I brush my teeth and take a quick shower. Instead of I eat breakfast, I go to work. I changed it to after that, I eat a light breakfast and leave for work around 8. It felt like magic. Now my sentences were linked together. They felt like a real story instead of just facts. I practiced them every day out loud, and guess what? The more I used them, the more automatic they became. Soon, I didn't have to think about them. They just came out naturally. I used usually and sometimes to add personality. These little words help me express myself more honestly. For example, I usually eat eggs for breakfast. Sometimes I skip breakfast if I'm late. It gave room for real life because not every day is the same. I could even talk about habits. I often drink coffee in the morning. I rarely take naps during the day. On Sundays, I sleep in. Suddenly, my routine had color. It had variety. It had me in it. And when I shared it with others, they listened with interest. It felt like I was telling a friend about my life. That's when I realized it's not just about what you say. It's about how you say it. I practiced with Imagination 1. Of my favorite exercises was using imagination play. I pretended I was giving a tour of my life like a travel guide. But for my daily routine, I stood in front of the mirror and said, welcome to a day in the life of Siren. I usually start my day at 7 a.m. when the sunlight hits my window. First, I stretch and drink a glass of water. Then I brush my teeth and take a refreshing shower. After that, it's time for breakfast, usually tea with eggs or toast. Around 8, I leave the house and head to work. I wasn't just practicing grammar, I was performing my life. I started having fun with it. I used expressions, I used my hands. I smiled, and most importantly, I felt like I was really speaking English, not just repeating it. I recorded voice. Notes like a podcast. I created a private voice diary on my phone. Each day, I would record a 2-minute audio note where I talked about my routine, just like a podcast. I'd say, hi, it's Siren again. Let me tell you about my day. I usually wake up at 6:30, but today I got up at 7. First, I brushed my teeth and did a bit of stretching. After that, I made myself some breakfast, just toast and butter today. Then I sat at my desk and checked emails. These recordings helped me practice fluency, hear my own mistakes, build confidence, learn to think in English. I listened to them during the day. I noticed which words I repeated too much. I learned new ways to say things more smoothly, and it felt powerful. To hear my own voice speaking English clearly and confidently, I talked with friends using real expressions. One day, I had a language exchange with a friend from Canada. She asked, "So, what's your usual routine like?" I smiled. I was ready. I didn't panic. I didn't search for words. I simply said, "Well, I usually wake up at 7. I like to start the day slowly, so I stretch a little before getting out of bed. Then I brush my teeth, take a shower, and have a light breakfast, usually toast or fruit. After that, I get ready for work and leave around 8." She said, "Wow, you sound natural." That comment stayed with me because she didn't say, "You sound correct." She said, "You sound natural." That's what I had been aiming for all along. I collected real phrases from native speakers every time I heard a natural phrase. I wrote it in my notebook. Here are some of the best ones. I tend to wake up early during the week. I I make sure to drink water right after I wake up. I try to exercise before breakfast. Most days I work until 5. I started using them in my own routine. They made my speaking feel more flexible, more real. These small phrases became part of my vocabulary, not because I memorized them, but because I used them. I realized it's not about perfect sentences, it's about real ones. We often think fluency means big words and fast talking, but I learned that fluency is really about natural connection. It's about using the words people use every day. It's about rhythm, tone, and personality. You don't need to say a lot. You just need to say it the way people really talk. My daily practice routine. You can copy this. Here's what I stole. Do every morning, and you can do it too. 1. Speak your routine aloud. I usually wake up at 6:30, then I brush my teeth. 2. Add natural connectors. After that, and sometimes before work. 3. Record a 2-minute voice diary. Pretend you're doing a podcast. Talk about your morning. 4. Listen to it during the day. Catch your habits, your mistakes, your strengths. 5. Practice with a friend or mirror. Be playful. Be expressive. Tell your story like it matters, because it does. Final thoughts from Siren. Adding natural words like usually. Then sometimes, and after that changed everything for me. It turned my flat sentences into real conversations. It gave my routine a voice. It gave me a voice. So if you're stuck saying, "I wake up, I go to work, I eat dinner," don't worry. Start adding just 1 or 2 words. I usually wake up, then I eat. After work, I relax. That's the beginning of real fluency. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. When I started talking about my daily routine in English, it felt like I was building a bridge between my life and the language. First, I kept it simple. I wake up at 7. I brush my teeth. I go to work. Then I added natural expressions. I usually wake up at 7. Then I take a shower. After that, I eat breakfast. But something was still missing. My routine was correct. It was clear. It sounded natural. But It didn't feel like me, Dot. It felt like I was still talking like a textbook character, not Siren, the real, emotional, funny, curious, and sometimes sleepy girl with messy hair and too many dreams. That's when I ask myself, how can I make my routine feel alive? The answer was simple. I had to make it personal and fun. I started adding my feelings. Every day is not the same. Some mornings I wake up full of energy. Some mornings I don't want to leave my bed, Dot. So I started saying things like, I usually wake up at 7, but today I hit snooze twice. I was so tired. Or I brushed my teeth while dancing to music this morning. It made me smile. I realized that when I added my feelings, I was no longer just listing actions, I was telling a story. For example, after work, I usually cook dinner, but today I felt lazy, so I just ordered pizza and watched a movie. That's real. That's me. I included my hobbies in my routine one day. I was writing in my notebook and I thought, why am I only talking about brushing teeth and going to work? What about the parts of my day I love? So I added them. I started saying, after dinner, I listen to music. I usually play soft piano music. It helps me relax. In the evening, I like to read English books, mostly short stories. They're fun and easy to understand. Before bed, I write in my journal. It helps me clear my mind. Now, my routine wasn't just about boring chores. It was about my joy. I added details to bring the routine to life, small details made everything feel more real, Dot, instead of saying, I drink tea. I said, I drink strong black tea with a little sugar. It's the best part of my morning, instead of, I eat breakfast. I said, I usually eat toast with butter and jam. Sometimes, if I have time, I make scrambled eggs. These little things may seem small, but they made my English shine with personality. I wasn't just talking about routine. I was showing the world who I am, Dot. I played with my imagination some days. I got creative. I imagined I was talking to a friend who had never seen my country, never met me, never walked in my shoes. I said things like, in the morning, the light comes through my window. It paints golden lines on my wall. I love that moment. It feels peaceful. I walk to work. On the way, I pass a bakery. The smell of fresh bread is so warm, it makes me want to stop every time. These weren't just words. They were pictures. They were feelings. And they made me fall in love with the English language. I pretended I was filming a vlog. Of the best tricks I used was pretending I was a YouTuber. Making a day in my life video, I turned on my phone camera not to post anything, just to practice and speak like this. Hi friends, it's Siren here. Let me show you my morning. I usually wake up around 6:30. I check my phone, scroll a little, and then I finally get up. Today, I'm wearing my favorite cozy sweater. Let's go to the kitchen. For breakfast, I'm making tea and toast. Simple, but delicious. It was fun. It felt like acting, but real. And I got to use so many expressions. Sometimes I'd even talk to my cat and say, look at her, she always stares at me when I eat. I think she wants a bite. These playful moments helped me practice speaking with energy, emotion, and style. And guess what? I started sounding like the vloggers I admired. I used English to think about my day soon. I wasn't just speaking English, I was thinking in English. While walking to work, I'd think, okay, when I get home, I'll cook dinner, then maybe watch a show. When cooking, I'd think, let's boil some water, chop the onions, add the spices. Even in the shower, I'd say, this water feels so good. I love hot showers. My thoughts were slowly changing languages. That's when I knew English wasn't just something I learned. It was something I lived. I made mistakes, and that was okay. One night, I told a friend I braked my teeth in the morning. She laughed. Do you mean brushed? She asked. I laughed too. Yes, I meant brushed. That moment could have made me feel embarrassed, but instead, it made me feel brave because I spoke, because I tried, and I learned. Mistakes became funny stories. They became lessons. They became memories. I kept a routine diary in English every night before bed. I wrote a short paragraph about my day, just 5 to 6 sentences. Sometimes like this, today was a busy day. I woke up late and rushed to work. I felt a little tired all day. After work, I met my friend for coffee. We talked about our weekend plans. Now I'm feeling sleepy. Other times I added more feelings. I felt proud of myself today. I spoke English during a meeting. I was nervous, but I did it. Over time, my diary entries got longer, smoother, and more expressive. It became a mirror of my progress. I played character games to practice. I played a game I called What If? I'd ask myself, what if I was a teacher? How would my day look? What if I lived in New York? What would I do every morning? Then I'd speak as that person. Hi, I'm a teacher. I usually wake up at 5:30. I prepare my lessons while sipping coffee. Then I take the train to school. This made speaking feel like a game, not a test. It helped me practice new vocabulary in a fun way. I practice with myself like a friend sometimes. I sat alone and just talked to myself. I'd say, hey, Siren, how was your day? Oh, it was okay. I woke up late and spilled tea on my shirt, but I survived. It felt silly at first, but then it felt safe, private, like building a quiet friendship with myself. An English, and that friendship made me stronger. I gave my routine a personality. Your routine doesn't have to be boring. I started saying, my mornings are slow and sleepy. My evenings are fast and fun. My tea talks to me in the morning. It says, wake up, Siren. I dance while brushing my teeth. It's my morning party. Giving life to my words made speaking English feel like play, not work. I shared my routine with others eventually. I joined a language group online. We had to introduce ourselves and describe our day. When my turn came, I said, hi, I'm Siren. I usually wake up at 7, but today I was lazy and stayed in bed till 8. I brushed my teeth while listening to music. After that, I made a cup of tea, my morning magic. I worked from 9 to 5, but I took small breaks to stretch and smile. Now I'm here, and I'm happy to share my day with you. They clapped. They smiled. They said, you sound amazing. But I didn't sound amazing because of big words. I sounded amazing because I was myself. My final message to you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to speak fast. You don't need big words. You just need your story. Make your daily routine. Feel like you. Add feelings. Add fun. Add small details. Talk about your favorite breakfast, the song you hum in the shower, the smell of coffee in your kitchen, that funny thing your cat did yesterday, how tired you feel on Monday mornings, how peaceful your evenings are. That's real English. That's real you. So if you're still wondering how to talk about your daily routine in English, start with the basics. Add natural words. Then sprinkle your heart all over it. Speak with feeling. Speak with joy. Speak like a human, because English is not just a language dot, it's a way to tell the world, hey, this is me, and this is my life. And your life? It's worth talking about.